Good morning, student. So, yesterday we completed standard on auditing 300, that is a planning of an audit of financial statement, right? We discussed how to make the plan before starting of the audit, what are the criteria we need to think before proceed with the audit procedure, right? We see how that chronologically the particular process of audit planning is conducted and why this audit planning is important during the audit, right? So in today's lecture we started the another essay, that is 315, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment, right? This is a 300 series, students. I already told you yesterday in essay 300 we come to know how, why and how we make a plan of audit before we started our audit procedures, right? Second thing, in 315 we understand the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment, because that will told you that how much of the quantum you need to verify during the audit procedure. That depends on this kinds of risk of material misstatements. We will discuss what the risk of material misstatement is, but till now you just come to know that risk of material misstatement is very important to decide the quantum of audit procedures, right? Third one, that is essay 330, assessing response to audit risk. Once you decide the risk of material misstatement, then it's up to you how you respond the same. And essay 320, that is a materiality. Materiality and 315, that is 320 and 315 is directly linked with each others, because the risk and materiality, we also discuss the relationship between the risk and particularly materiality of the transactions and what that is and how we correlate the same in expressing the audit opinion, which is a primary objective of the auditors, right? Okay, students. So yesterday I asked one question to all of you. That question is, the heading of this essay is identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity, through understanding the entity and its environment, right? Now my question to all of you, is that why we need to analyze the entity and its environment, why we need to understand the entity and environments to decide the risk of material misstatement, why this essay comes to in force in our pronouncement of the ICAI, why this essay is come to make some guidelines for the auditor during conducting of the audit. That what we are supposed to learn in this essay, students, right? Let us discuss what this essay is and why this essay is incorporated in your course, right? First thing, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement. First, there are three important words which is highlighted in the name of this essay. First one is a materiality, second the entity, and third one is a environment. One by one we will discuss the same. First thing, materiality. Now the question is to you, what is a materiality and how we will decide that nature that the particular transaction is material? How you come to know that? How you come to know if this transaction is very material from a verification point of view? First of all, we will discuss the detail about the materiality in essay 320. But till now, we will just come to know what is a materiality. Materiality is all the types of the numbers, all types of the numbers. It might be from 1000 to 1000 crores depending upon the turnover of the company. That particular amount is material for you. That's decide up to you. તમે કઈ રીતે decide કરો છો, that is up to you. Okay, this transaction is material or not. And the transaction which is material is directly influence the decision of the reader. The transaction which is material is directly influence the decision of the readers. કેવી રીતે ખબર પડશે કે આ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન મટીરીયલ છે? નાનું એવું એક્ઝામ્પલ લઈ લઉં છું અહીંયા. What the example is? Say for example, કોઈ કંપનીમાં કોઈ કેશિયરે 100 રૂપિયાની કોઈને નાસ્તો કરાવી દીધો કે ચા પીવડાવી દીધી. Right? So is that transaction without any approval? So is that transaction is considered as a material? No. એમાં ભાઈ અપ્રુવલની જરૂર નથી. 100 રૂપિયાનો 1000 રૂપિયાનો નાસ્તો કરાવી દીધો. That is not required any kind of approval for the same. And if એવું કરી નાખ્યું approval વગર, then it not impact on your financial statements level. It's not impact majorly. But yes, if any particular cashier has just manipulate the entry of sales of rupees 50 lakhs 50, then is this transaction is considered as a material? Yes, of course, because 50 lakhs નું જે એન્ટ્રી હતી સેલ્સ ની એને મેનિપ્યુલેટ કરી અથવા તો સેલ્સ આજે કર્યું છે એને રેકોર્ડ કરી 10 દિવસ પછી. For that 10 days he just kept that money in his pocket rather to accounted or put the same into the cash balance of that company. So that transaction is considered as a material transactions. So depending upon the nature of transactions, amount involved, right? Based on nature of transactions, amount involves, significance of a transactions. These all are the things which you kept in mind while deciding that materiality, right? And which impact on your financial statement directly. So તમને એટલી તો ખબર પડી ગઈ કે what the materiality is. Am I right? What the materiality is. Primarily, હજી ડિટેલમાં આપણે જોશું, but for this essay you come to know that what materiality we are talking about, right? હવે આખું એકવાર રીડ કરી. Identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement. અહીંયા વર્ડ યુઝ થયો છે material misstatement. That's again come to that popular short form, that ROMM, risk of material misstatement. Right? Risk of material misstatement. I would like to take the example for explaining this ROMM. Just give me a time to explaining you. Just give me the time. I will take the short example so that you can understand. Now again my question is the same. See students, you need to write in your summary books, because this is just explanatory and base for essay 315 which I am right now creating. So you need to write the same so that you understand what is the base, and then after you started the reading from your institute module or from the textbook which I am noted down you after completing this explanation, so that you come to know પૂરેપૂરી link પકડાઈ જશે. So just note it down, not along with me. Just give me the time to explaining you, then I will give you the time to note down the things, right? Okay. For example, question is what is the need to understand the entity and its environment student for auditor? What is the need? So for example, balance sheet, if we prepare the balance sheet, balance sheet, fixed assets, say 5,000, debtors, say 2,500, cash and bank balances say 6,000, investment say 3,000, creditors say 2,500. This is just a hypothetical example of trying to tally with the assets and liability. Okay, profit and loss account, revenue 10,000, COGS, that's a cost of goods sold, that 5,000, depreciation say 2,000, and other expenses say 1,500. Right? Presume that these all figures are in CR, that's in crores. That's all figures are in CR, say example, in crores, right? Now, as an auditor, when you received this kind of data from your client and you need to express the opinion on this financial statement. Now see, the revenue is 10,000 CR. Bearing the sales value or sales invoice number, say for example, from 1 to 10,000. 1 to 10,000 is the series of sales invoice. Is the series of sales invoice. So my first question is to you: is this a sufficient time for you to verify each and every invoices? You say no. I am asking you why. You told me, sir, inherent limitation of audit. Acha. Inherent limitation of audit is you have a limited time to do the audit and express the opinion. જો 100% વેરીફાઈ કરવા જશું then it's take a years. પૂરું આખું વર્ષ વ્યૂ જશે બધું 100% વેરીફાઈ કરવા માટે, રાઈટ? આખું વર્ષ જતું રહેશે. ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ 3,000, that investment having a numbers of item 3,000 crores. There is a numbers of items, there are number of sales, debentures, government securities, quoted unquoted securities, and all this. Whether you need to verify 100% thing, is this possible? No sir, it's not possible, right? Because there are inherent limitation which bounds you to don't expect that 100% verification is possible. So my second question is, link ma jao chu, please try to understand one by one. First question is completed. I am just started the second question. Once I complete this question, you come to know why we need to understand that entity and its environment. That is the basic question of this essay. Because if you don't understand the name of this standard, then how can you understand what the content they are talking about to you as an auditor to implement during the audit procedure? Right? Okay, fine. Second question. How to decide the quantum of audit procedure? How to decide the quantum of audit procedure, nature, timing and extent of audit procedure, nature, timing and extent of audit procedure, detailed testing, or we can say substantive procedure. Substantive procedure. How to decide these all things? How you come to know how you decide these all the matters, right? અહીંયા સુધી લખી નાખ્યું. Then we will discuss further. Just I remove this because the space is limited. Yeah. Okay. Now, for deciding the substantive procedure, At last you come to know what I am explaining. Just listen what I say. Substantive procedure. Two parts. Materiality and risk of material misstatement. Now students, first question is why we need to understand the entity and its environments. Right? એનો આન્સર આપું છું હવે. Just hear me. Why we need to understand the entity and its environment? The answer is મેનેજમેન્ટ બધો ડેટા તમને સર્વ કરશે જ્યારે તમે ઓડિટ કરવા માટે જશો. Each and everything served to you. તમને કહેશે કે લ્યો સર આ અમારું મેમોરેન્ડમ છે, આ અમારું આર્ટિકલ છે, સપોઝ કોઈ ન્યૂ ક્લાયન્ટ છે તો બાકી તો તમારી પાસે વર્કિંગ પેપર્સ SA 230 લિંક કરો ડોક્યુમેન્ટેશન એમાં આપણે ભણી ગયા કે બધી વસ્તુ પરમાનન્ટ ફાઇલમાં રાખશું. બટ તમારો સપોઝ ન્યૂ ક્લાયન્ટ છે, you go first time for audit, then management will serve you their article of association, memorandums, who is the director of that company, who is the CFO, CS of that company, and that all things and other matters. Are you relied on the data which is provided to the management directly? No. What you supposed to do, you need to confirm whether this management is competent enough to serve you the data which required by you to expressing the opinion on the financial statement. Because students, once you sign in the financial statement now, then it's become a public documents. Public are relied on the same and investing on the same. But what the public's trying to say that this is an audited financial statements, and this is, if this is an audited financial statement, then we 100% relied on the same. Okay, the figures which is given in the financial statements are true enough to taking a base of that financial statement in investing of that particular company. So this is a reliable documents. This is a trustworthy documents. Once you sign on that statement, that is what the power of CA. Once you sign on the financial statements, and it's become an that particular base for the investors. It is a matter of trust. So it is very important as an auditor to, before the sign of that financial statement or expressing the opinion on the financial statement, you need to verify each and everything rather to rely on the data served to you by the management. It is not necessary every time that data is true and fair only. You need to re-verify, you need to check again, you need to confirm the same. This all the responsibility goes to you as an auditor, right? So that's why we need to understand the entity and its environments. Environments is not like the that natural environments and all that's here talking about. Environments, what they are trying to tell you is that is a environment in the company, like a computerized environment, IT environment. Say for example, if the company is using the Tally software, I am taking the example of Tally so that you hear about that word. Tally, suppose the company is maintaining the books of accounts in Tally, then you just verify whether the company has purchased the licensed versions of the Tally or they are just using the crack version. So this is a kind of environment in which the company is operated, right? SAP નું example yesterday મેં તમને આપ્યું કે ઘણી બધી કંપનીઝમાં SAP યુઝ થતું હોય છે, તો જ્યાં કોઈ પણ જાતનું ફિઝિકલ રિક્વેસ્ટ આપવા નથી જવાની. yesterday મેં એક્ઝામ્પલ લીધું હતું કે કોઈ 5000 ની વસ્તુ કોઈ પણ ગુડ્સ પરચેસ કરવો છે, then the department head or the particular person who required that particular goods is not go to that head of the department physically by just taking this particular piece of paper કે મારે આ જોવે છે. They are just putting the request on the system, and that the system is automatically reflected to the concerned authority, and that authority is just online accepting the same and getting and giving the approval to purchase that particular product. This is how this automated environments working in the entity. So you need to verify that environment. I think you got the point, right? And understand the entity, because there are the various risk students. I will take you the simple example that if you are a, say for example, a production of oil company, suppose, then you have your own mining and your destination of your raw material is maybe out of your state, right? You have your own mining and you are extracting the oils from the particular places, and you need to buy your raw material for the same if that is needed from outside your states. If means you are in Gujarat and you want to buy your raw material from Maharashtra, suppose you require to buy your raw material from Maharashtra compulsorily to manufacturing the particular product. That is what your job is as a manufacturer. Then what is the risk associated to you? Say for example, transportation facility is top down. We see that in COVID-19 situation, all the transport facility are locked down and every production facility are goes. એ તો બધી જગ્યાએ impact થયું છે, but I am just taking the example કે transport facility stop થઈ ગઈ, then it is a risk to you because you are importing your you are just buying your raw material from that Bombay, one particular from one state. So transportation is very significant particular area which is required and it is mandatory to continue your businesses, right? So this is what the transport facility. So this is how, depending upon the nature of these kinds of entity, you come to know how much risk associated either directly or indirectly to that entity. That is what your job is, to decide the same, the entity and its environment. That's why we need to understand the same, right? હવે આને હું લિંક કરું છું ડાયરેક્ટલી લિમિટેશન્સ સાથે. હવે અહીંયા ધ્યાન આપજો, આ ક્વેશ્ચન પૂરો થયો. Why you need to understand the entity and its environments. અગેન હું આનો ડિટેલમાં ચર્ચા કરીશ આની અંદર. સબસ્ટેન્સિવ પ્રોસિજર, સેકન્ડ ક્વેશ્ચન. This is the second question. How to decide the quantum of audit procedure, that is the nature, timing and extent of audit procedure, detailed testing and substantive procedure. You know what is the substantive procedure? To verify the accuracy, measurement. Yesterday આપણે ડિસ્કસ કર્યું, to verify the accuracy data produced by the accounting system કે કેટલો રિલાયબલ છે, accuracy કેટલી છે, arithmetical accuracy પણ જોવામાં આવશે અને feasibility પણ સ્ટડી એનું જોવામાં આવશે કે પ્રોપર ડેટા ઇન્સર્ટ થાય છે, જે આપણે ઇનપુટ ઇન્સર્ટ કરીએ છીએ એનું આઉટપુટ પ્રોપર મળે છે કે કેમ. That is what you need to decide. બડી મોટી કંપનીઝમાં MNCs માં IT સ્પેશિયલિસ્ટ રાખેલા હોય છે આની માટે. What that IT specialist is doing, they are just configuring the things. We are expert as a chartered accountant. We give you the advice કે અમે આ ઇનપુટ નાખીએ, અમે આને ડેબિટ કરીએ અને આને ક્રેડિટ કરીએ તો આટલી જગ્યાએ એન્ટ્રી જવી જોઈએ. સર એવું કઈ રીતે? એક એક્ઝામ્પલ આપો. સપોઝ ડેપ્રિશિએશન, I am charging the depreciation on particular assets. તો એ ડેપ્રિશિએશન પ્રોફિટ એન્ડ લોસ માં ડેબિટ થવું જોઈએ, સામે અસેટ્સ માંથી રિડ્યુસ થવું જોઈએ. So that is what the system is automatically doing, right? So that is what this kind of things we expected from that IT team to incorporate in the system, so that the proper result and output will comes out, and you just taking the base of that output on expressing your opinion on the financial statement. That is what I am trying to tell you, right? So this is a substantive procedure in which you just verify the accuracy, measurements, valuations and data produced by the accounting system, whether the same is reliable or not. For that, whatever you are doing is a substantive procedure. Now, two part, materiality and ROMO. These two things is decide how much quantum you need to verify in your substantive procedure. These two things is decide how to decide the quantum of audit procedure. That is nothing but the substantive procedure. કેટલું વેરીફાઈ કરવું, કેમ ખબર પડશે? બેલેન્સ શીટ હતી, હમણાં એક્ઝામ્પલ લીધું હતું સેલ્સ નું, 10,000 CR. It's not verified to it's not particularly feasible to just verify from 1 to 10,000 sales invoices, each and every invoice. It's not possible. What option is to you? The option is this: materiality and risk of material misstatement, combination of these two. Now I'm just going for the equation remove કરી નાખું છું, right? Yeah, fine. Okay, now further, this bromum is having a two part, further divided into the two parts. What that part is? inherent risk, students, inherent risk and controlled risk. Inherent risk and controlled risk. Now the question is in your mind, sir, what is the inherent risk and what is the controlled risk? Right. So now let us understand what is the inherent risk and what is the controlled risk. Students, the inherent risk means those risks which is from inception of that company, it's compulsory and it's not possible to remove that particular risk as an auditor. તમે એને મિનિમમ કરી શકો છો, તમે કોઈ સંજોગોમાં એ ઇનહેરન્ટ રિસ્ક ને ઓછું નથી, ઇનહેરન્ટ રિસ્ક ને એબોલિશ નથી કરી શકવાના. There is a risk that you have to accept કે આ ભાઈ risk છે and you have to decide. Just write the meaning of that inherent risk below that. Just write the meaning, then we will discuss. Risk which cannot be removed, reduced, to acceptable level. Understand entity for the same. Sir, example આપો એમનું. હમણાં જ example આપણે લીધું, transportation facility. You have one particular company in which you need to buy the raw material from another state. What is the example? Say for example, you have a company in Gujarat. You have a company in Gujarat, right? You need to buy the raw material from the company situated in Maharashtra. Say for example, company X Limited. And this is the only company who producing the raw material required by you, right? So we need transportation facility for the same. We need the transport facility for the same compulsory, right? So in some of the situation when transportation facility is not available, then is there any option available to you, students? No, because you are 100% relied on one supplier, that's X Limited in Maharashtra, who is supplying you the raw material. So there is no option available to you, students. You just 100% rely on this particular Maharashtra company, that is X Limited. That is what the inherent limitation is, students. So these kinds of the various limitations you come to know while you started the verification procedure as an auditor, કે આ કંપનીની નેચરને સમજો, આના એન્ટિટીને સમજો અને એના એન્વાયરમેન્ટને સમજો, then you come to know કે these kinds of inherent limitations જે છે એ કંપનીમાં હોય છે, that exist in the company. This is just an example. There are numbers of inherent limitation might be available. I will taking you the simple second example to explaining you properly. Suppose the company is using the software, very old software. Say for example, the company is established in the year of 1995. Suppose one company is established in the year of 1995. And that company is using some sort of particular XYZ software from that year. From that year means 1995 થી અત્યાર સુધીમાં કંપની એક જ આ સોફ્ટવેર યુઝ કરે છે. So આજના દિવસમાં there are lots of compliances comes into, there are lots of requirements of laws and regulations comes into enforce in today's environments. So it's not feasible for the company to verify each and everything. What happened is, I will explain you what happened. Suppose this is the software in the year of 1995, and that moment suppose the depreciation rates and other depreciation compliances are not there. Suppose, assume in today's time we have some Companies Act rates particular useful life provisions for the charging the depreciation on the particular assets, right? So in today's time, what we need to check, we need to check the useful life. What we need to check, we need to check the useful life of that particular assets, that useful life, then that 5% of discarded value and all that other compliances of depreciation. There are the numbers of other compliances are there. We need to verify these all kinds of compliances in today's time. So what this company is doing, this company is preparing the manual sheet in Excel. માઇક્રોસોફ્ટમાં એક્સેલમાં આ વસ્તુ આખી પ્રિપેર કરે છે મેન્યુઅલી. શું પ્રિપેર કરે છે? ડેપ્રિસિએશન નું વર્કિંગ બનાવે છે. એ વર્કિંગ બની ગયા પછી એને ચાર્જ કરે છે બુક્સ ઓફ અકાઉન્ટ્સમાં. So this is a manual sheet, students, prepared by the accountant of that company. So as an auditor, this is an inherent risk na. You need to verify this properly na, because the system is not producing the data, but the manual sheet is entered over there. So the 100% concentration is required to verify whether that accountant is taking the useful life properly or not, because the chances of error is over there is very high as compared to the software. The data produced by the software is a particular order, but if there is a manual intervention, then there is a chances of error may be high. So this kinds of inherent risk કે જેને તમે acceptable level સુધી ઓછું કરી શકો છો, but not more than that. તમે આ એક્સેલ ની શીટ છે એ એમને બનાવી દઈ શકો છો કે ભાઈ ચલો હું તમને બનાવી દઉં યુઝફુલ લાઈફ એટલી આ રીતે છે, રાઈટ? તમે આ વસ્તુની અંદર ખાલી અમાઉન્ટ નાખશો એટલે ડેપ્રિસિએશન એઝ પર સિસ્ટમ ગણાઈ જશે. But you are not supposed to say that 100% it is acceptable and 100% minimum. No, you just reduce to acceptable level. અમુક વસ્તુ તો acceptable level સુધી પણ reduce ના થઈ શકે, જેમ કે આ raw materials ની મેટર છે. That's only one vendor says that. What can you do? Nothing. You just accept as it is. Then you consider this thing also na while you are expressing your opinion. So this is known as an inherent risk. The risk which cannot remove, reduce to acceptable level, understanding entity for the same. That is what the inherent risk is. I think you get the point. What is the inherent risk? કે જેને આપણે એક્સેપ્ટ કરી શકીએ, મિનિમમ લેવલ સુધી એને રિડ્યુસ કરી શકીએ, બટ વી કેન નોટ એક્સપેક્ટ કે આ જે પર્ટિક્યુલર રિસ્ક છે એ ઝીરો થઈ જાય. નો, નોટ એટ ઓલ. That risk is you need to reduce at acceptable level only. That is what the inherent risk. Now, sir, what is a particularly control risk? So student, I already discussed regarding this control risk very detailed. That is nothing but the internal control, students. તમને યાદ હોય તો કયું એક્ઝામ્પલ મેં લીધું હતું જ્યારે ઇન્ટરનલ કંટ્રોલ એક્સપ્લેન કરતો હતો અને આપણે SN220 ડિસ્કસ કરતા હતા? એક્ઝામ્પલ લીધું હતું સ્ટોર ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ, મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગ ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ અહીંયાથી રિક્વેસ્ટ પોસ્ટ કરે છે, અપ્રુવલ માટે જાય છે, ત્યાંથી એ વસ્તુ ડિસ્પેચ થાય છે, અપ્રુવલ મળે છે, ગુડ્સ આવે છે, વેરહાઉસમાં રહે છે, ટિકિટ રેઝ થાય છે. This kind of example I am taking for explaining right now. I am just taking the simple example of issue of laptop. Suppose કોઈ particular એક કંપનીમાં એક ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટમાં લેપટોપની જરૂર છે, then they are just posted the request for the same, and that request is goes to the concerned head for approval, and that head if approve the same and give the particular criteria of the amount કે ભાઈ તમારે 40,000 થી 60,000 વચ્ચેનું લેપટોપ પરચેસ કરવાની અપ્રુવલ મળે છે, then that particular department give the order for that particular laptop, right? So that is what the control is. That is what the control risk is. તમારે જોવાનું છે કે એવો કંટ્રોલ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ થયેલો છે. પેલો ક્વેશ્ચન, whether this kind of control is established. I'm just remove the particular sentence over here to note it down the things. Yeah. So suppose control risk માં Yeah, first you need to examine whether the same is exist, whether the same control is exist કે આવી રીતે અપ્રુવલ માટે જાય છે કે પછી જેને લેપટોપ ની જરૂર હોય એ સીધું જઈને લેપટોપ પરચેસ કરીને લઈ આવે છે. Is there any kind of approval criteria and particular watch of the amount? ઘણી વખત એવું થતું હોય છે અપ્રુવલ થઈ જાય, અપ્રુવલ માટે જાય કે ભાઈ મારે લેપટોપ લેવું, then they are approving and they are just purchasing the laptop of 1 lakh rupees. So is this not a proper thing? You need to elaborate and you need to approve along with the amount, based off amount. You are just restricted the amount કે ભાઈ તારે 40000 થી 50000 વચ્ચેનું લેપટોપ લેવાનું છે, not more than that. I am approving the same as a departmental head. So that what the actual control is. So that is first you need to examine whether the control is exist. Second thing what you see, whether their work, whether that particular control is work effectively. If that particular control is work effectively, then whether that particular control is working throughout the year. That also you need to examine now. Suppose the departmental head is absent for a particular period of time, then what the other authority that approving for the same. એક ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટલ હેડ નથી તો કોની પાસે અપ્રુવલ માટે જશે ને કોણ એને અપ્રૂવ કરશે? That also you need to see now. So that is what the entire thing you need to understand to decide what is a control risk and how much control risk is there. That is you need to decide by considering these all kind of things. So student આની ઉપરથી એક વસ્તુ ખબર પડી કે મટીરીયાલિટી અને રોમમ નું કોમ્બિનેશન કરવું બહુ જ જરૂરી છે ટુ ડિસાઇડ કે આપણે કેટલો ક્વોન્ટમ વેરીફાઈ કરવાનો છે, કેટલી વસ્તુ આપણે વેરીફાઈ કરશું. It is very important to decide. Now read the sentence of this essay. Now you come to know what this essay heading is. Read from last time. Its environment, the entity, understand the entity and its environment. Understand the entity and its environment. Through understand the entity and environments for considering the Romum or for decide that Romum quantum. That is what the identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. કઈ રીતે ખબર પડશે કે રોમમ કેટલું છે, કઈ રીતે ખબર પડશે કે આપણે કેટલું ક્વોન્ટમ વેરીફાઈ કરવાનું છે, કઈ રીતે ખબર પડશે કે there are huge volume, then how much volume you need to verify. These all things you come to know by considering these two things, materiality and Romum. And what the Romum is, this is nothing but the combination of inherent risk and control risk, student. What is the inherent risk? Risk which cannot be removed, reduced to acceptable level, and understand the entity for the same. આના કારણે અંડરસ્ટેન્ડ કરવું જરૂરી છે એન્ટિટી ની એન્વાયરમેન્ટમાં ટુ ડિસાઇડ ધ ઇનહરન્ટ રિસ્ક, because otherwise you don't know what is the inherent risk. To decide or to know that inherent risk, you need to verify you need to understand the entity and its environment. That what they are trying to tell you, right? And this is a control risk, that inherent control you need to check out whether the same is exist. If there is a existence, then work effectively and throughout the period. That is what this particular thing is. Now I come to the second part of this essay. હજી મેં લખાવાનું સ્ટાર્ટ જ નથી કર્યું. I am just creating base for this standard, right? Okay. Now for Romum, risk of material misstatement. Again at 2 level, again at 2 level. Again the same is at 2 levels. First one, at assertion level. At assertion level, you need to write these all the things, students, for gathering and proper understanding of these base of this essay. At assertion level and at financial statement level, at assertion level and at financial statement level. Assertion level means at transaction level or at total or all level. That is just verifying the transactions કે કઈ રીતે બુક થાય છે, કેટલી એક્યુરસી છે, કોઈ પણ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન પ્રોડ્યુસ થાય છે તો એમાં arithmetical accuracy શું છે, that what the assertion level is. And second is at financial statement level. What that does mean? Financial statement means the component of revenue. Revenue, balance sheet, etc. That is what the financial level is. Suppose I am just taking example કે sales ઉપર impact આવે, suppose આની અંદર example લઈએ, કોઈ sales ઉપર impact આવે એટલે unnecessary, suppose કોઈ sales વધારી દેવામાં આવે તો કેટલી વસ્તુ ઉપર impact આવે, તમારો GP બદલાઈ જાય, તમારા ડેટાસ ઉપર impact આવી જાય, તમારી પ્રોવિઝન જે કરો છો તમે ઓન ડાઉટફુલ ડેબ્ટ્સ એ પણ ચેન્જ થઈ જાય. So this is how at financial statement level you also need to verify your ROMM, that is the risk of material misstatement. જ્યારે હું ROMM ની વાત કરું, risk of material misstatement ની વાત કરું, ત્યારે સ્ટુડન્ટ બે વર્ડ તમારા મગજમાં આવવા જોઈએ. That first one is a materiality and second જ્યારે ROMM ની આપણો ડિસ્કશન થશે ત્યારે two things is important to understand. First is inherent limitation and second one is control risk or inherent limitation risk, or we can say inherent risk or control risk. તો આ બંનેનું કોમ્બિનેશન જે છે એ ROMM છે. ROMM તો બે પાર્ટ્સમાં ડિવાઇડ થશે. એટ અસર્શન લેવલ એટલે એટ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન લેવલ કે ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ઇન્કોર્પોરેટ થાય છે ત્યારે સિચ્યુએશન શું ક્રિએટ થાય છે, એ ડેટા કેવો પ્રોડ્યુસ થાય છે આપણી સામે, એક્યુરેટ કેટલો છે, ધેટ્સ એક્યુરસી એટ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન લેવલ ઇઝ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ બીકોઝ એ લેવલ ઉપર પણ આપણે શું કરવું પડશે, રિસ્ક ઓફ મટીરિયલ મિસસ્ટેટમેન્ટ ડિસાઇડ કરવું પડશે, રાઈટ. એન્ડ સેકન્ડ થિંગ ઇઝ એટ ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સ્ટેટમેન્ટ લેવલ, રાઈટ. ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સ્ટેટમેન્ટ લેવલ ઉપર કમ્પોનન્ટ ઓફ રેવન્યુ એન્ડ બેલેન્સ શીટ આઇટમ, એમાં કઈ રીતે, આઈ વિલ એક્સપ્લેન યુ વિથ ધીસ એક્ઝામ્પલ. Right? I hope you understand. Okay. Now, I am just now explaining you the last particular diagram so that you come to know how this ROMM is actually work. And then we just start to note it down the things in these essays, right? Okay. How to calculate the ROMM? How to calculate? How to calculate ROMM? Right? Inherent risk, and over here there is a control risk. Control risk. Right? just note it down this chart. Minimal, low and moderate. Right? This is how you need to examine the ROMOM. That ROMOM is the combination of inherent risk and control risk. Now you get the point. This is a combination of these two. And if this is a chart, if the inherent risk is low and control risk is also low, then our ROMOM is minimal. That is a minimal. But if the inherent risk is high to this particular aged, and suppose the control risk is over here, then there is a ROMOM is equals to combination of low in case of inherent risk plus moderate in case of control risk. So student, based on this examination, you just arrive a particular conclusion. Sir, conclusion શું arrive થશે અહીંયા? That thing is, you decide your substantive audit procedure. You decide your nature, timing and extent of audit procedure. You consider your timeliness for the same. So that is how the audit procedure is actually working. I hope now you understand how this particular ASA 315 is working. How this essay is working. હવે entire picture તમારા મગજમાં આવવું જોઈએ કે રોમમ શું છે, શા માટે આપણે એન્ટિટીના અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ કરવી પડે છે, શા માટે એન્ટિટીના એન્વાયરમેન્ટને અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ કરવું પડે છે. This is how this particular essay works. હવે આના જે કન્ટેન્ટ છે ને, જે ડિસ્ક્રિપ્ટિવ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ વ્યૂ થી આપણે ડેફિનેશન વગેરે જે સબ્જેક્ટિવ લખવાનું છે, that I will note it down to you tomorrow in detail, so that now you get touch with this essay. જ્યારે હું લખાવીશ ને ત્યારે તમને ઓટોમેટિક આ બધી વસ્તુ સ્ટાર્ટ થશે, because this is a practical example and what I am noted down to you tomorrow, that is the theoretical things, and then link that practical things with theoretically, so that you understand how this actually picture is coming as an auditor when he go for audit practically. So this is how we need to understand the audit now. Otherwise it's very difficult to understand from the textbook કે ચલો textbook લઈ લીધી and આપણે ROMOM ને understand કરી નાખીએ. That is not possible. You always linked with the practical life example. Once you go in your articleship students, you also realize how this practical things is implemented in reality. You also realize that at that moment of time. But for the time being, just understand or relied on the word which I am saying you right now, and study the content which I noted down for that particular essays, right? And after completing these essay, I am started 320 essay tomorrow. After completing or noted down these notes of essay 315 અને 320 ને 315 ને જ્યારે તમે મિક્સ કરશો ને, then you have an entire idea about that planning and risk assessment procedures and materiality and response to that audit risk. This is what the series of essay 300 na 300, 315, 320 and 330. 300 audit planning, 315 identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment, 320 materiality, and 330 is response to that audit risk. કે તમે જે risk find કર્યું છે એ risk ને response કેમ કરશો, that we need to understand in essay 330. So આ બધી વસ્તુ આપણે one by one discuss કરશું, બહુ મજા આવશે. just linked and just touch with me. If you have any doubt, then just message me or you may call me for the same. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Yeah.